Welcome to the power of purpose. It's me, Anton NM. We know that all things works together for good, whether be it dark moments, rejection, pain, suffering. Somehow they're going to build you and align themselves to make you the greatest that you could be. Today I have a special guest, national producer, international producer. We have danced to his songs. And he's no other than Mr. Glow. Mr. Glow, you're welcome to the Power of Purpose.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm going to begin by throwing some words on you. It's just some, each time we try to do a show, we throw up some different ideas. Okay. So I'm going to throw some words on you. Just tell me what you think.
Okay.
Secular music.
Secular music moves a lot of people.
Gospel music.
Gospel music moves people that understand God.
Africa.
Africa is a rich continent, but its people need to focus on Africa.
Sunny Boy.
Sunny Boy is a brilliant artist.
Wow. That's it. I'm going to throw some personal words that relates to you, mother.
I wouldn't be who I am without my mother.
Okay. So your mother plays a big role in helping you become the best that you could be.
Yes.
Okay. Relationship.
Relationship needs commitment, needs time, needs grooming, needs growth.
God.
God is the ultimate of everything. He's the one that makes everything complete and together.
Okay. Tatebuti.
Tatebuti is one of my best friends.
Okay. That's great. I saw that coming. Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah. No, thank you. We just wanted to stir up the moment as we begin.
Yeah.
People know, as we have heard in songs, artists mention Glow, Mr. Glow on the beat, Mr. Yeah. Glow on the beat. Who is Glow? What is your full name beside the producing name as Glow?
Okay, my full name is Solani, Zulu. Glow is a nickname, actually.
Okay.
Glow came as a nickname when I used to have a friend. We used to watch this other movie. I didn't want to say this on camera, but you pushed me.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, but it's fine. We used to watch this movie. It was called Coming to America.
Okay, yeah, right? I remember that.
So
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
So now the problem is he always used to forget my name whenever he sees me. So he would be like, I know it starts with a so, but then there was this other product on the movie, in the movie called Soul Glow.
Soul Glow.
Yeah. So now every time he sees me, he'll be like, Soul Glow. Let's do this or that. So later on, as we went on as friends, I just allowed him to call me Soul Glow.
Soul Glow.
And then later on, it changed to Glow. Glow stuck. So that's how I got Glow as a name.
Awesome. I've been with you for a while. I never knew that's where the word Glow came from, or the name, Soul Glow.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to say, Soul Glow, I was saying.
Yeah.
Soul Glow. Okay, great. Solani Zulu.
Yeah.
Where were you born? How did you grow up?
I was born in Zambia, Lusaka.
Okay, great.
I don't have a huge family, but I did grow up in a huge family. How? Okay. Because all my life, I've lived a life of adoption. Okay. My mom was adopted by my grandmother. Wow. And my grandmother raised us. My mom raised me as well. But then my grandmother raised us in a home where we were a lot. And grew up with many girls, with a few guys. But then I know I know how it is to be in a big family.
Yeah.
So when we were in Zambia, we grew up in a big home,
Yes.
a home of adoption.
Yes.
And when we came to Namibia, it was the same. And then when my mom got her home, she also adopted
A lot of kids, including myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I know by that and by God's grace,
Yes.
I know what it is to have a brother, because I'm an only son.
Yes.
But I know what it is to have a brother, a sister.
So
and
biologically,
everybody.
you're the only son of your mother.
Yes.
There is no first or second. There is no sister or brother.
No.
Biologically.
Biologically, I'm the only son.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
In a nutshell, that is Glow.
yes.
When you begin to grow now, your mom moved here because of work. You've been here ever since for maybe 15, 20 years now. Growing up, how was it like?
Well, growing up, I've actually been here for 26 years.
26?
Actually, 27.
Yeah, 27. Yeah.
Because I've been here since 1990, so
Yeah.
I'm basically a Namibian.
Yeah, of course you are. 26 years, that's a
Yeah.
long time.
Okay, growing up had its good and its bads. Growing up, I had a good, I grew up in a good environment, but
Yeah.
then there were some things that were a bit of a challenge, you
Yeah.
know, because it's not all the time when we had everything that we needed,
Yeah.
but then we had to make means of whatever we had. When I got out of school,
Yeah.
I didn't jump into a job.
Yeah.
When I got out of school, I started making buns, you know, because that's like my hobby. I
Okay.
like baking.
But before we go to when you got out of school,
Yeah.
Your mother, who is also my mother, she's a loving mother. She loves all the people that comes close to her, and she loves people. You know, she loves sharing. And how was it growing up with a single mother?
Growing up with a single mother is not easy because at the end of the day, all the pressure is on her as a single mom. And I could say my mother is a very strong woman if she could put up with my mistakes
Yeah.
as a teenager and as a youth, you know. You don't see those things when you are still at that stage, when
Yeah.
you're still a youth and when you're still, you just feel like, mom is nagging and, you know. But then later on you get to understand as you grow. I think for me, mom is like a hero because she really raised me in a way that she had to be strong on her own. There was no guy influence. The only guy influence I had is my other brother. His name is Rudika. So at least he was there to also balance the situation.
The situation.
But then raising me as a single parent was not easy for her.
Were there days that you longed for a father?
Well,
Growing up now, you're becoming into a man, a teenager, you're reaching your grade 12, and you see,
yeah.
were there moments that you felt, at this moment, I need a man?
There were, to be honest, there were days I longed for a father, but then for me knowing that my father is no more,
Yes.
I just had to sort of suppress what I was thinking or what I was feeling. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Your father is gone, and all you have as a mother and father is your mother.
Yeah. Have you ever felt, maybe there were moments that your mother, there are some things that in her process, she felt she didn't have that she's wishing, maybe in terms of relationship or family, that she's wishing you should have? Were there certain pressures you felt like, maybe my mother, because she didn't have that, so she's making sure, trying to make sure that you have? Have you ever felt some moments like that?
I feel that even to date, I know for a fact that mom wants the best for me. So that's why she does her best to do whatever she can, or what she did her best to do whatever she could at the time where I couldn't do anything for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know her wishes for me, to have family, to have kids, to have all the things that she never got an opportunity to have, And it's the same as me. I wish for my daughter the same, she must get all the things I never got to have, not because of a choice, but just because we couldn't have.
Moving forward, you were talking about after leaving grade 12, what did you embark on upon?
For the viewers out there, don't give up when you mess up. It's a process. Sometimes when you're learning something for the first time, you will mess up. Trust
So
me.
when you were starting, is it the baking when you messed up?
No. When I was starting after grade 12, I had already learned because I used to do it from a younger age.
Okay.
So I started baking scones and I used to sell it to the school kids.
Oh, okay.
I went back to the school I was.
Which school was that?
I was at Jan Jonker High School.
So you were at Jan Jonker. So you finished grade 12, you go back home, begin to bake,
Yeah,
and then go back to the school.
and then sell the cookies.
Were you not shy, or maybe they're going to look at you down or somehow?
I considered all those things, but then I just thought to myself, hey, we just have to do this to survive. Hey, let me help mom. Because at the time, I was still staying at my mom's place. And I didn't want to just stay there and lay and do nothing.
Exactly.
So I decided, okay, fine, let me take this as an initiative, go to the schools. And it was not just Jan Jonker. I went to the primary schools, every school in the neighborhood that I could get, and I sold the scones, and got a few coins. It wasn't much, but I got a few.
At least you got
coins.
something,
Yeah. Okay, to cut a long story short, apart from that, I was very deep in church.
Okay.
So by a blessing, the apostle, he also helped me at the time because he knew that I don't have a job. I'm just struggling from one end to the other. Then he said, no, come work at the church. So I went to church. I actually worked for the church for a few years, I think. I worked there because I didn't have employment. So they could give me what they could give me. And I appreciated it because at the end of the day, at least it's something that you didn't have. So my work at the church was banking, the church money, or running for whatever errands needs to be done, filing. That's how I started off. But in doing that, there was a keyboard at church. That I always used to, when I'm free, I just play a beat, and then I make a beat on the keyboard, and I'm like, oh, okay, this looks good. Yeah, this sounds good. Then I'll just leave it, and I didn't really concentrate on it. But later on, I started playing in church as well. So they asked me because I think the church, the keyboardist, he had to go somewhere. So they asked me if I could just stand in. And at that time, I didn't know how to play keyboard. So I was just put on the spot. Because at the time, before they asked me to play the keyboard, I was playing drums. That was my first instrument. And with the drums as well, it was the same thing. I messed up. When I say mess up, trust me, the song is going this way, you're going the other way. So, but anyway, eventually I got right. And it graduated. I played instrument after instrument. Okay, so first I started with the drums, then started playing the keyboard. And at the college, I had enrolled for guitar. So I was just playing a bit of my guitar. I had known how to play guitar before I played keyboard. So I was just translating whatever I'm playing from the guitar into the keyboard. And then later on, I started playing in church, like keyboard. Yeah.
Great. Well, so that was the birth of your soul of music, the spirit of music inside you. So it begins to grow from there. After working at the church, when did you now decide to become the producer?
It goes back to my mom again. My mom had she first bought me a guitar, and then she bought me a computer. For that computer, I'll forever be grateful. But then I should also be grateful to Arafat, because at that time I'm still friends with him now, but we were good friends at the time. And he just came by my house and was like, "Oh, you have a computer? Wow, this is nice. Let's install Reason in the computer and see what you can do there." And he installed Reason, and I started playing around. I didn't have a keyboard at the time. I only had my mouse, so I was plotting.
With the mouse?
With the mouse. But surprisingly, I plotted some pretty nice beats just on Reason, just by plotting. And yeah, that's when I started considering, maybe I should actually do this, like I should start selling these beats. And then, as you would know, people started actually coming to buy beats from me. So
yeah, it always starts by selling the beats.
So it was something that was not so serious. It was just for me, but then later on, people started coming to buy beats. Yeah, so for that, I'm really grateful to my mom, to Arafat. And
do you remember one of any successful beat you thought it turned into a song?
That only comes later on, when I met people like Elvo. One of the songs that were just playing around, I was just playing around, was the song I did for Gaza at the time called Selima. I was just playing around, and then it was a beat. Then he came in and he checked it out. He was like, "Oh, I like this beat." And from there on, we started composing. He wrote the song, and then he sang the song. And later on, we decided to make it a single. We made different versions of the same song. Yeah, but that's one of the highlights. The other one is The Deception for King TD. He's King TD now.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I made The Deception for King TD at that time, my earlier years, and it became a hit, and I didn't even know that it would explode so much.
Deception,
Yeah.
It was a very powerful song.
Yeah, anyway, so that's one of the highlights of the beats that I made at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward, Elvo started coming to the church I was fellowshipping at.
Oh, okay.
And then he needed an assistant to play the keyboard, because the workload on him was quite a lot. So they called me. At that time, he was married to Lavi. She called me and was like, "No, Glo, can you please come by our studio, because we know that you play keyboard. Elvo needs help. He has another computer that maybe you could just help play the keyboard when the clients come, and then later on he'll come and finish it off and do everything else." Not knowing that I was also doing the same production at home, but with my little computer. Yes. So I met Elvo, and Elvo was like, "Oh, no, man, but then I could show you a few things, and then from there you could grow your own thing." And at that time, I was only using Reason. So Elvo introduced me to Logic now, which is the program I'm using now, till now. And he showed me a few things. I learned from him, and then I also learned a couple of other things online and everything. And from that time on, I became the producer I am today.
Yeah.
So being great, it doesn't only take you alone. Yeah. It takes your colleagues that are along the line. So
all the people that God
brings along your path. So that's why from today I know if I'm great, I'm not great on my own. Yes. I'm great because of my mom. Yeah. I'm great because of Arafat. I'm great because of Elvo. And then I met K-Boss. Yes. K-Boss also helped me with a couple of things as we got to know each other. Yes. And I became the person I am today. Yes. So because of that, I'm forever grateful to my colleagues that are in the music industry. Yeah.
So in that sense, you could say that building relationship is very important in somebody's life.
Relationship is utmost important. Yes. Okay, what I believe it starts with a relationship with God. Once you have a relationship with God, you'll know how to have a relationship with everybody else.
Any other people.
So relationship is what takes you to the next point. Usually what we do as human beings, as soon as we get there, we forget the people that brought us
push
there.
us into the process.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that is a human error, and we need to correct that as human
Yeah.
beings, you know?
There was a time you worked with, I know you've worked with Chateabout, you've worked with Pedicures. Was it through Omalaiti? How was that process in?
Mr. John Wa is one of my mentors, even up to date. And for him, I'll forever be grateful because he taught me how to do business.
On the business
On
aspect.
the business side of me.
Now you knew the producing and all,
Yeah.
now you need somebody
Yes.
to push you to the business.
To do business.
Yeah.
So to him, I'll forever be grateful because he pushed me to be the person I am.
Mr. John Walenga?
Yes,
Okay, great.
till today, because it took grooming and structuring me to be who I am.
Yeah.
I needed to meet people like that.
Okay.
Not forgetting my friend Tatebuti.
Yes.
Tatebuti would always be in my corner and saying, "Hey, you're messing up there, bro.
Yeah.
Let's do it like this." So people like that are people I appreciate. And PDK as well. PDK, they're like my brothers, you know. PDK, when we're in a situation, they will come through and say, "No, let's do it like this, let's do it like that," and then we'll make things work out.
What are some of the painful moments, before we looked at some of the greatest achievements you have talked about, what are some of the greatest painful moments in process of becoming who you are?
Okay, you know, there was a lot of dark moments. I don't want to specifically point out a specific dark moment, but I'll point out situations.
Yes.
There are situations where you produce something for someone and then they don't give you what you deserve.
Your credit.
Your
due credit.
Yes.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that was like in my growing. As I grew up to be Mr. Glow on the beat, when I used to produce for some people, they never used to put my name on their CD. And to me, that had more value than actually monetary.
The money issue.
Yeah.
Because people now know, like, this quality,
Yes.
I got it here.
Yes,
and
exactly.
that acknowledgement is
Yes.
important
And
because
that-
you put your creativity, your passion, your energy, your hours into that thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, at the time, when people didn't credit me for my work, it was a heartbreaking moments, because I actually started way before right now, and I'm only being known now because of the efforts that were done at that time. So people didn't put my name as credits. I had to go back to them and I'm like,
What
"Guys,
happened?
please,
Yeah.
for the next project, if we're gonna work, put my name as credit.
Yes.
Even if you don't pay me, but my name
should be on the CD. Yeah.
or my name should be on your lips when you speak about this.
Yes.
You know, so for me, that's very important. Your name is what's gonna save you tomorrow, because people will look at whatever you've done and be like, "Oh, yeah, no,
He did
Glow.
that.
He did that. Okay, so I want this also on my project."
You being the man that people often don't see, but behind the whole sound until the song is done, what do you see in the next 10 years when we reach Vision 2030 in this country?
Well, in the next 10 years, Namibian music industry, it's growing.
Yeah.
You know, it's growing, and we can thank the awards that they are pushing us as well, like, you know, to get, you know, because there's a competitive level. Now you're forced, like, everybody wants to do something for the Namas. So at the end of the day, people are pushed and forced to do something great. Okay, but anyway, apart from the awards, the industry in itself is growing because of great young producers that are coming up.
Yeah.
Some of them are looking up to me, some of them to Arafat, to Elvo, all of us. So for us, is to groom these young people that are coming up as producers. So yeah, I see a great future for Namibia. Because also our music is actually becoming prominent now. Our quality is becoming better as we grow. Before, we were just very young with music, because all the other countries around us, they had a history of music. For us, we just got liberated, and then we had to start now and build ourselves. And so far, after these 27 years, we've done a great job.
Yeah.
And I think we are going to be at a peak by 2030. If we continue.
How do you see music in terms of crossing over the music, Namibian music, crossing over to into South Africa, crossing over into Nigeria, crossing over into even America, Europe, all these other countries? Is there something we are still lacking? Because we are still not seeing us as Namibian musicians really pushing that crossover where, you know, like what we have seen with the Nigerians, what we have seen with South Africans. When are we reaching there? What is the blockage?
You know, networking is quite important. And I could say King TD is already doing a great job because he brought in an artist like Diamond. That was last year.
Yeah.
Gaza's the same. Gaza works with the South African artists, great musicians, and I think that is, so the example is from them because at the end of the day, they know how to network. So if you network with a different country or the artist from the other side, and also Tatebuti, because Tatebuti worked with some Botswanan artists. That was, I think he was one of the pioneers of starting to work with outside
exactly. He was one of the first.
Yeah. And so yeah, we should really just network better.
You have produced albums so far as a producer. How many albums have you done for different artists?
To be honest,
yes,
I will not be able to know.
How many albums?
But there should be more than 100.
100 albums.
There are more than. If it's not going towards 200.
And what are your last words for new artists there who are passionate about singing or producing?
Okay, my last words for the show is humility will get you to where you need to be. Don't think just because you manage to reach this area, it's the end. Keep your humility, keep your passion, keep pushing, and also don't give up when you fail. Failure is just a motivator to do it better. Yeah, so keep doing what you do, whatever it is. It doesn't, even if it's not production, if it's, if you are a teller or if you are whatever you are, you know, just keep pushing until you get better at it. And better is not best. Do it until nobody does it better than you.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Thank you. That was Mr. Glow on the beat. Now you know that we dance to music, and music is the rhythm of our soul. We fall in love with music. We fall in love with people because of music. So these are one of the people. They have gone through darkest moment to become the best that they could be. Now it's you. You might be going through this wherever you're watching, be it in the village, in the location, wherever, in the ghetto. You are designed for destiny. Push yourself. Work hard. Network. Be humble, as Mr. Glow said. Until then, we'll see you on the other side.